Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paladins Evie's Winter Classic Week 3 here. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. I'm not calling him Slick Nick the
I know
Ruler.
what happened.
I'm not calling you that.
I lost my other
it's
name.
because no, you don't like it, you don't appreciate it when I call you that, and so you're not going to get it anymore. And it's time here for us to play some Paladins and you guys to watch the great action. Of course, there's a giveaway for you, and you make sure to enter those. I'm sure chat will help you out with that. And of course, linking your Twitch and your Hi-Rez account, that's the best way to go ahead and get yourself some free stuff. And make sure you do that there so you could be the coolest ying in the realm when you get that weapon skin. We're ready for the brackets to look at who will be facing off in these finals, and it's none other than Arise and Xenosy.
Xenosy back in the finals yet again. I believe they've made it to the finals all 3 weeks of the open bracket play. The big talking point here is Arise rising up literally from last place on the standings. They had 10 points coming into this week. With a win here will bring them to 110 points, and they will find themselves in the finals.
It's going to be pretty exciting for Arise, and the difference between 100 points and 60 points could be huge. It could be whether it's top 4 for them or not, and so they're really needing a win here. And Xenosy, they're going to do everything to stop it. Timber Mill and Ice Mines have been banned out. Frozen Guard most likely will be something we see later on if this set goes farther into it, but it'll be Frog Isle again. And we've seen kind of a tendency for at least Islands on Vertu to pick Ruckus here. I've seen Ruckus a lot on this map specifically. We'll see if one team decides to go for it, though.
Who will be first pick heading into the champion draft? You make a good point. Ruckus, for whatever reason, seems to excel here on Frog Isle. Rise going quickly into that Cassie.
Like
That's
it.
going to be a very contested pick in this series.
I like it. Xenosy, they're going to have to show something different. Tooney's going to have to be on a different champion, and that is, I think, the importance of knowing your opponents and knowing the team that you're playing against. I mean, it seemed like they knew right away, no Cassie for them.
Yeah. They're going to answer back
No
with
Cassie for you.
Drogos Fernando, a great combination pick. We haven't seen too much today. The reason it's so good, Fernando and Drogos being the counter to each other, they're that much stronger if they're on the same team. Makoa and Androxus will be the answer. And also good combination here because the reversal is penetrated by the Dredge Anchor.
Brothers in Flame, you know, Fernando and Drogos. And
nice.
You see the red theme as well coming across from Xenosy.
Yeah,
so Brothers in Flame, they got the red going on. These guys are Christmas, and they got the green, red, green. All you need is a little, white in there. Grab Evie. You got like Christmas colors all the way. But Makoa and Pip selected here, and of course Arise have this final pick. Xenosy will have the counter pick to that in the last phase, but Pip selected as that healer. Going to be very interesting for them. And Victor, not bad on this map. I don't mind it.
Yep. Evie, though, going to be the bane
Christmas.
of him. Coming out Christmas time, Evie's Winter Classic. Pip is going to be a good answer, I think, to Fernando in the front line. When they're not able to get the Drogos, we saw Arise running this composition. Both Drogos and Pip very well against double front line compositions. They know that they have the execution that they need to pull it off. Very deadly combination there with the Accursed Arm as well that we have also seen them be able to pull off. Protection will be on Androxus this time. JAKEB on Cassie, Northernkyle on Victor, Epps on Makoa, and DarkRider on Pip.
And this is an interesting one. Xenosy will be on Tooney, will be on the bow champion. Just a bit of a different gender this time. Shaolin will be where he finds himself. Exalotus will be on the Fernando instead of the Makoa. Cacanuck, no Bomb King. He's on Drogos. DefNotHanzo will play Evie, and tinyFetus with that deft hands Maldamba rounding out their lineup.
Yeah, if we could pull up their loadouts there on the sidebar just to see what he's going. He's actually still going for that damage reduction in the movement speed on Mending Spirits.
Interesting.
Taking a look at that. Those are pretty damn good cards for Maldamba, and regardless of what you're going for.
Absolutely. Look at that. Really nice reload shot right there. He's going to put Makoa in a bit of trouble. The gourd will go down. He wants it. One more reload. He misses it, though. And now he's going for another one. First blood will come through for tinyFetus. The damage from Maldamba and the CC pressure is enough, but protection will slay Tooney, who had been on the point. And look at the knockback. He can stay in the air. He might be able to another step this enough, but he cannot. It doesn't work. If the dash was available, he would have been able to potentially find himself back on the playing ground. But all said and done, 78% and counting for Xenosy.
Making a statement coming out here. A big zone from Exalotus on the Fernando. No one from Arise able to make it back to the point. They're being poked out from a long way away. 2 kills already for Xenosy. They're ready to get rolling on this payload. They've created a lot of space for themselves. DefNotHanzo showing up on this Evie in a big way.
Yeah, and again, just continuing the pressure. I like DefNotHanzo's play here. He's continuing to show his champion pool variety and impact on this team. But of course, protection not on that Buck, on the Androxus, not having the same type of success that he's had, but just didn't feel confident to bring it out here on Frog Isle, and that has not been to the benefit of his team. He's getting pressured by the Evie. Some nice reversals, though, will keep him alive, and some nice positioning will help him to stay protected, as his name does imply, as this push continues with 1 minute and 42 seconds on the clock.
Trying to get a pick here, create some space. Nice ice block into the hook, pins him to the wall, planted. It's gonna put some good work in as well. Pip's gonna be forced to retreat. Grading out kill for kill protection, takes Cacanuck but goes down. DefNotHanzo double kill in this fight. 1 minute and 20 remaining here, but the payload is inching closer and closer.
And this is strong, too, for DefNotHanzo. A triple kill, turning into the BM, canceled out with the right trigger ice block. Cacanuck will go ahead and finish that one off, and the push is successful. This time, it's clear in my mind that Xenosy have gone 2-0 early on here in this game.
DefNotHanzo on that Evie, the one to watch right now. Gets the Ice Storm before anyone else has their ultimates online. Still not leading the damage chart, but he's making it count. JAKEB on the Cassie, a character that can poke from launch range. Not surprising that she is leading the charts. Fernando Exalotus, when he has a lot of space to work, he can lead the damage as well when he's not being too pressured out. But we are seeing 4 blast shields coming out from Arise, countering that Fernando, countering Cacanuck's Drogos, DefNotHanzo's Evie as well. Tooney and tinyFetus, the only source of that direct damage. tinyFetus once again saving up for that deft hands too, trying to get that reload online sooner as opposed to later.
They love the way that this has just been given to them as well. Maldamba, not a contested pick until the later stages of the draft. And Cassie, a great choice, I think, but Shaolin still showing to be perfect as the Heat Haze is activated for Tooney. He wants to find one, and he does find protection. A Fireball will get a ton of damage, and Heat Haze just wears off. And at this point, the pressure has been completely pushed onto everyone else. Almost drops him off the ledge, but northernkyle will fall thanks to DefNotHanzo's play. And whether he's on Cassie, whether he is on Shaolin, Tooney comes to play with a bow in his hand. And so does Xenosy with 96% and now a capture objective in the books.
3-0, and the chance to close out here. They are making a blazing, fast-paced fireball onto the high ground. This zone is just unreal right now. Arise cannot find their way out of their spawn. They had such a great run in the tournament thus far. They are not used to meeting such a forceful resistance here, keeping them in spawn corralled. This is a dangerous, dangerous look if you are Arise. You cannot afford just the momentum and the mentality shift that comes off of a loss this quick.
And I think this is where we're going to see a lot and learn a lot about these two teams here. Both want to be contenders for the top spot. The Drogos will get JAKEB, and DarkRider will finish him off, making him pay for that incredibly forward advance of damage. But it looks like Epps will not survive long enough. His whole lifetime as a stay-at-home dad, it feels like it's something that was in a past life here, because this Makoa has had no impact on this fight, Nick, like his Barrack did.
Yeah, no impact at all. Burning him down right now, Exalotus. That's why he's nearly leading the damage charts. No one is responding to this Fernando just coming through. No Dragon Punch able to answer the Ancient Rage. The shield comes up, blocking most of those anchor swings. Chugging his way through. That's not the ideal use of that ultimate. It's just trying to buy time at this point. The stun. Here comes the evil mojo, but there's just no follow-up. They're only able to get one of those chickens. If Pip goes down here, that's going to be conversion and the game. He goes down. JAKEB narrowly able to make it back out. A big disengage keeps it alive for the time being, but Exalotus is just so healthy on that point, and that is not what you want to see. They didn't have a great answer for it. Exalotus, 31,000 damage. He's keeping up with Tooney and Hanzo here on the Evie and the Shaolin.
I mean, the thing that's so impressive too is tinyFetus with 45,000 damage healing on the Maldamba. So he's just playing a true support role. He's in that back line. He's pocket healing the Shaolin. He's healing up his big tanks from distance because that Mending Spirits is hit scan. It can heal across the map. And he's also just being such a fantastic pressure with those CC chained snakes that he's throwing off of hitting his reload button. And remember, when he's at the lower clip, that's going to do a little bit more damage too, and quite a bit.
It's right here. It's going to be on Arise. Now the ball is in their court. How do they adjust heading into the next game? We'll head over to the map screen and see that will be played on Jaguar Falls there. Protection got the Androxus last game. He was real quiet on it too. I want to see if they're going to make the switch to having him on Buck. Xenosy haven't showed that they have a Buck player. We don't know that they don't have it. They just haven't shown the need to pull that out. Anything can happen.
And we will see Buck here. I have a very firm belief that Buck will get played for two reasons. One, that Protections just didn't have a great game on Androxus. Two, that Jaguar Falls, I think, is something he'll be more comfortable playing Buck on. I think it was a map-specific thing as well. I don't think he felt Buck excelled in those open spaces against the Shaolin, which is already first picked as well. And I think that having the Androxus there with the area clear of his ultimate on Frog Isle is a good idea on paper, like you mentioned. But so oftentimes, paper is not what wins these games, you know?
Yeah, they were not able to execute on the Evil Mojo there. Exalotus stayed alive. He's the key target. It was probably a little bit of a panic state when that came out.
Yeah.
They weren't able to keep track of just exactly which chicken was Fernando there. Rise immediately first picking that Cassie once again for JAKEB. Xenosy gonna run this back. It looks like Drogos is the first selection. Fernando is the second. It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Gonna Rise sticking strong. JAKEB still top damage in that game, so did have a good performance with Cassie and almost saved him at the end. But where they missed out was not having the key impact performances from Barrick there. And the stay-at-home dad will bring the kids and the minivan through this round, and Shaolin as well. Maybe Arise was very scared of the combo of the Planet and the ability for him to just deal with Buck, that they didn't bring out Buck, and this is a way to get Buck on the table in the second part of this draft.
So they give up the Makoa, though. How well will this? This basically forces them to have to pick Pip. That is their only answer to these double frontliners. The Buck.
They can
I think you predicted it pretty well, where they wanted the Shaolin off the table first so that they could safely pick into the Buck, but they give up one hell of a lineup for Xenosy.
It is, but you know what? Buck can do a lot to all of these champions here, and especially if they get low at all with any poke. If JAKEB is able to just burn Drogos down with 1 or 2 shots, Buck, even if Drogos is in the air, Buck can have an impact on him with those long-range shots. I call him the shotgun sniper for a reason. It's because he can hit hard from far away.
The concern here for me is that because they have Fernando and Makoa, tinyFetus can just be on peel duty.
Yeah.
Cacanuck, Tooney are going to be in the air. DefNotHanzo is going to be impossible for Buck to track down. There's not a lot of great targets.
How impactful is it to be on Maldamba for so many games in a row and then be forced to play the tank role? I feel like that could come into play here.
It may, you know. Being that the way he was playing Maldamba, I think he's going to be okay because the snake stun is one of the harder things to hit in Paladins. So the dredge anchor isn't going to be, you know, too difficult. You know, they have similar projectile trajectories across Malkoa and Maldamba there. But I think Protection, man, I know he likes the pick. I don't see who's his great target. Look, that target's flown away. Who do you now?
But look at this, though. Look at how much he split them up. And Epps is finally going to get himself a kill. Androxus in the air, and he just wants to go for the backline targets. He has not even looked Fernando's way, despite how handsome the Spaniard is. And that is Androxus just feeling the pressure of Protection. And this is what I'm talking about. Protection knows that if he can get his buck in this game, he can have and give his team a fighting chance. No Shaolin to counter him. But Nick, what you mentioned as well is now with these big beefy targets still alive, what has that accomplished?
And meanwhile, DefNotHanzo was on the point. He got to about 30% through all of that. Now Xenosy in control of it. They're going to climb north of 60, almost 70 points already. They have the Makoa to get the picks to keep this pressure rolling. Fire Spit around the corner as well. Epps is going to rocket boots in there, but a dwarf with nobility is not a dwarf long for this world. He falls to Exalotus. Overtime already ticking through. Buck in a clump is not ideal situation here. On paper, this draft looked good, and in practice, it is proving to be as well.
And the Shaolin, both bow champions, getting focused down by the AoE blast damage, coming out unmitigated most likely here. I don't remember exactly which cards they selected, but it is not the usual choice to grab blast shields. However, the Evie's been very impactful here, as well as the Fernando, both in the back line. And I could see these decisions being a very important one at that towards the end of the game if they continue to have this type of impact. Up into the air goes the Winter Witch, and down she falls to JAKEB's arrow. And now Protections finding himself in a perfect position, dead, but not exactly in a bad spot considering his team, thanks to his damage and zone, has been able to kind of stabilize here for the time being.
Moving out, Cursed Arm just now coming online. A couple of nice headshots from Tooney here. We know he's got the shot. Right as I say that, he misses 4 in a row. He will stay alive for now. The shell shield's going to be good, but Protection able to get in there and shake up the fight. Tooney getting very low there. He's going to fall down. JAKEB picks up one as well here. 1:20 seconds remaining on the clock, and this is the type of trickle that Xenosy did not want to get into.
And this dragon is doing a ton of damage. Cacanuck on the Drogos feeling comfortable picking up this blaster despite what has changed in his kit, and it just goes to show that these pros have not really given too much of a care. They really love this fire spit damage, and that's what's proving to be impactful. Not the fact that he needs to coast around the map. It's the fact that this AoE blaster presence and this one-punch ultimate is still game-changing no matter how you slice it. DarkRider goes into the wrong room at the wrong time, takes 2 shots to the head, and then forces Protections to come in and try and get his back. He stays alive, but the one who's been doing so much damage here and not contested against is Cacanuck.
Yep, there's a lot of control staying in the air for a very long time as well. Fernando gonna get that shield up. Epps is set up on the side here. Those turrets are gonna be taken out immediately by the heavy hitting dragon. Right now, Dragon Punch available as well. Ancient Rage is coming out on the front line. Immortal is going to keep Exalotus alive. Everyone is buying so much time on Xenosy. They need to convert this into kills, though, as we are headed into overtime.
Well, now they finally start shooting at Cacanuck, and he goes down thanks to JAKEB's pressure, but all of a sudden, JAKEB doesn't see DefNotHanzo, and he is going to go down because he misses one crucial play. JAKEB will follow up on Tooney after the double kill seemed to maybe buy his team a chance at pushing, but after it's all said and done, this will now be a game that Ultimates can help decide, and that is where Pip comes into play here with those chickens, and Protection's going to be really looking to fry him.
DarkRider picking up that record too. Xenosy's comp does fall off as these late game wreckers start to come online. They pick up 3 cauterizes as well. There's not a lot of shield pressure forcing them into the wreckers themselves. tinyFetus already fully fleshed out in every category, has the veteran, cauterize, Haven, and master riding. He will be beating Epps to the point. JAKEB with the Chronos 2 as well. It's going to help smooth out that cooldown to almost nothing for the dodge roll, given that he is hitting those incitement shots. 3 blast shields, 2 havens for a rise. Let's see if they can get it done. All their ultimates are ready to roll.
And Fernando looking to flank. He just gets off the mount after using the speed to position where he wants. Epps is under so much pressure. The dome shield will keep him alive thanks to the healing from Pip as well. Epps, I cannot believe, is still in this fight. Healing station doing so much work for him, and the Fernando falls. Who would have thought that after that the Pip comes to the rescue? The Volpine emergency is called. The Volpine emergency hotline is activated, and it is successful, at least until Evie shows up, and she helps tinyFetus Tooney slay 2, and she gets one of her own. And the Volpine goes down. We'll have to wait to be called back into action with 36% for Xenosy.
Tooney picking up 2 in that fight as well. Here comes the big boy zone. This is what Arise needs to look out for. Xenosy has been punishing them with this zone. A Cursed Arm available as well. That's going to combo very well with the Ice Storm. Spotted out is Epps. He's going to be hooked, smacked with a big old headshot, and tinyFetus going to be able to clean him up. A Cursed Arm could come through here. Here's the Evil Mode, so they're able to find the follow-up, but a lot of damage raining through from the Godslayer. He finds himself down without a hope.
And that was impressive, too. I love that Pip was in that fight. That's the benefit of having a blaster on your team. He shoots the floor, and it does not matter whether the reversal is up. It cannot take that damage away, and Pip gets the kill even after the Androxus seemed to be safe.
Wow.
DarkRider, though, will go down thanks to Exalotus, and really the damage coming out of the Dragon here, and that is what has been most impactful in this game, in this fight, in this objective capture that goes the way of Xenosy.
Moving out now, Exalotus healing up as he is out of combat. Gonna get that veteran healing as well if he chooses to go that route. A big fireball will land onto 2 here. A nice zone. This shield will hold for now, but those late game wreckers are starting to come into play. Tooney, relatively healthy, 40%, already back on his ultimate. Has all his cooldowns. Big fire spit damage, keeping JAKEB in a spot where he can be punished by that AoE blast. Here's a huge Ice Storm onto what looked like 3 members, and they are able to clean up all of them. Protection finds the only trade with Cacanuck in the backline, but Xenosy looking pretty good here to convert.
And DefNotHanzo staying alive despite people's beliefs, because that was a very low Winter Witch, and she still does enough magic, has enough in the back pocket to keep herself healthy. And that is exactly what Xenosy need. They need Evie to continue performing like this. DefNotHanzo, whether he is on the accursed arm man himself, Androxus, or if he's on Evie, finds a way to stay alive at these incredibly low health.
Yep, definitely using all 1,800 of that HP to his advantage. Nice job circumventing the damage from Heroic Leap. Protection gonna fall there. Dragon Punch is available, but he's very low. This would be a big risk if he charges in there. He's just gonna be content to lay down the fire spit damage. Here he goes, 500 health. Can he make it in and out?
He's trying to find one. He's gonna hit all the illusions. I love that, though. What a play. I think that was perfect by northernkyle. Set up the illusion trap, but it does not end up paying dividends. And Drogo's in the air again, goes uncontested in this fight for the majority of the push, and helps his team with the AoE pressure that has just been insurmountable by Hi-Rez.
Drogos. Those picks are so valuable coming from the Dragon Punch as well. Big shot from DefNotHanzo. Took out Protection mid-air during Buckwild. He could have, we've seen Protection make the hero play with Buckwild, so that was a big swing play from DefNotHanzo. Haven 2 now online as well. Veteran's going to be there for tinyFetus and Exalotus. Exalotus has been doing a very good job zoning once his team gains control of the immediate area around the capture point. Veteran will allow him to self-sustain a little bit better outside of combat. He won't have to stay out of the fight for quite as long. JAKEB, there's a lot of weight on his shoulders right now to carry this team and get them back in it.
And the hesitation on the side of Hi-Rez is showing dividends for Xenosy. They're taking advantage of the lack of confidence that this team has now, facing off of against these just very dominant damage flankers and dealers in Evie and Drogos. northernkyle and the Winter Witch facing off as acutely as possible, but it turns to be more of a rectangular shape that will save the day. Not for long, though. JAKEB and DarkRider get the better of Evie, but 81% all the while on the point is going to be all Xenosy this time.
Probably going to go down here to Protection, but Xenosy do such a great job at rotating their members in and out of the fight. As one gets low, they hop on the point, and Exalotus, full health on Fernando, will move out into the fight to keep pressure on, but still capturing the point all the while. 58% for Hi-Rez. It's looking better than it ever has for them, and Xenosy are just now starting to get back.
This is big. Actually, tinyFetus and DefNotHanzo had a chance to take down Protection, but they do not now. The accursed arm comes out from Androxus. Tooney slays 2. Cacanuck gets another one, and the chicken is buying time for the Androxus to get out of the fight, but not long enough. That will be the game. Chickens will not prevail this time, and it looks like it is all Turtles today. tinyFetus makes the switch from Maldamba to the big tank, and man, that switch pays dividends.
Yep, so that Evil Mojo not really hitting the mark. It hits the mark, but the points surrounding Jaguar Falls provide so many nooks and crannies for those little chickens to run off to buy time to return to their normal form. They were unable to capitalize on any. It's a good look, what you want out of your pit player. They were unable to get it done. That's going to be going up 2-0 now.
Yep, Xenosy ahead of Hi-Rez, and Hi-Rez trying to keep this dream alive of coming in first after a tremendous battle against even the top-seeded team, the winner of 2 weeks in a row, Astral Authority, taking them down in the process, only to face Xenosy and find themselves down 2-0 in the final set of the day. So Serpent Beach will be the map that makes or breaks these dreams, and if they can keep it alive, it's going to have to be right here.
Xenosy did a great job of drafting around Projections Buck. It really didn't have the impact that we had hoped, that we have seen previously. And Hi-Rez, they put a lot into drafting a good draft for this Buck, despite there not being a lot of great targets already.
Yeah.
They drafted the Sha-Lin third.
Yeah.
That means there was 3 people already picked on Xenosy, and none of those were good targets for Buck.
Absolutely. And so now moving forward, they select the Androxus, and this second pick will tell us quite a bit. So they take the Fernando away, and I think they realized the pressure Fernando was applying to not only Buck, but to Barrick as well, I think was what was so devastating to their team. And they do let the Cassie slip, but Tooney's been performing either way. And I think this is actually the time you do let it go. If he can play Androxus just as well he plays Cassie, don't first pick it. First pick somebody else's champion that they're doing well, and they've made a nice switch up here. So this could be Hi-Rez's game. These 2 picks will matter a lot.
Yep, JAKEB likely to be on that Androxus. Buck taken again. Will they take the Sha-Lin to complement it and prevent that? No, they will go with Epps. Picking that up. Xenosy now have the chance to get it. They also need a healer. They could potentially pick up another front line, and they will. Going to go with the Ruckus. Maldamba still on the board. A great compliment to this. Ying? It will be Ying this time.
Okay. This could be twofold for reasons that we may know if you've been watching earlier. The deployable nightmare created by Barrick and Ying is a very hard thing to get around, and with Fernando, that pressure, it could be extreme. But now, Hi-Rez electing to go for no healer whatsoever. Very interesting pickup. I wonder if Xenosy really wanted Ying, or they thought, let's just take it away from Hi-Rez and get a healer. Hi-Rez don't even go for a healer, so they might have had another chance to get Maldamba if that's what they really wanted.
It puts them in a tough spot because not only are they nearly a full Haven composition, but they don't force any Hi-Rezes to come out of Xenosy. Right as I say that, tinyFetus picks one up, but they don't. A lot of Wrecker,
Buck will need one.
Is going to. There is sustain, right, with Abyss Walker, with Recovery, with Healing Station. But I think the majority of the pressure is going to come from the Wrecker here, and that is going to be shredding through that Fernando shield, through the barricade very, very quickly. Nonetheless, it will be Tooney, not on Cassie this time, on Ruckus, Exalotus on Makoa, DefNotHanzo on Cassie, Cacanuck on Drogos, and tinyFetus on Ying.
And JAKEB will be on Androxus, northernkyle on Sha-Lin, protection on Buck, DarkRider on the Fernando, and Epps will be on the Barrick. And look at it now, the first blood going to JAKEB already onto the Dragon, and that first pick is not going to have a heck of a time against the Androxus, being JAKEB's one of his specialties here. But tinyFetus will still get the kill, helping his Makoa to stay alive, and that is one of the best things that they have done consistently here, Xenosy. Keep the Makoa alive. But meanwhile, it seems that Hi-Rez have found an answer on the point. Ruckus with the repulsor field will shield and give himself and his team 3 seconds of 50% damage going to them. And now the zone will take place. Xenosy find themselves with a bit of an answer, winning this fight. But Hi-Rez, one more retake, Nick, and it's going to be trouble.
That's a great job not shooting the reversal as well from Tooney's Ruckus. A lot of shield cooldowns already down, and Hi-Rez need to capitalize off this. The Wrecker just tearing through that Fernando shield, putting protection at about half health too. They full commit there from DarkRider to get on the point is punished. Cacanuck finds one. tinyFetus finds. Cacanuck hits another. Xenosy is cleaning up Arise right now.
Wow.
The 5-0 ace team fight.
Tooney with the aim, man. He is keeping it locked on 2 targets. There's no hesitation from his mind. Those fully charged up machine guns focusing whoever steps their head out of position, and Barrick seems to be the next one. A nice advance puts him in a good position to see the battlefield and get away from any pressure that might be being applied to him, and he's staying nice and healthy as well.
Switch.
All this target switching again, just commenting on Tooney's ability to react so quickly and position himself so well, not even wasting an advance there, which I think a lot of players might have done. Just sliding to the left, taking his hand off the pedal for a bit, and being able to do it.
Of positioning here, I really like what I'm seeing out of Tooney on this ruckus, getting in nice and close so he can have an impact with this Hexafire. All of this protection coming out. No pun intended, as protection is having a bit of a rough time on his buck. He falls to Cacanuck once again. The Hexafire is here if they need it. I don't even think Xenosy need to pop an ult to confirm this one here. They are looking unstoppable.
Now the Wreckers have not been able to have any implication in this fight yet. Shaolin is going to be the one to really deal with this ruckus, but he hasn't had a chance, Nick. So 2-0, sub 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Jeez.
How are they going to get themselves back into this game?
They can if Xenosy keeps playing perfectly as they have been. This is a team, a lot of shielding on focus. northernkyle, despite this, the only wrecker here, so a lot is going to be off the back of his Planet to chew through this. Planet can't chew through the repulsor field. That mitigation,
No.
There is no way around that. They have drafted such a heavy Haven comp. Haven in combination with repulsor field is going to be a real challenge for this team to find a way to break.
Tooney doesn't even have Haven. He doesn't even have a defensive card. He's gone straight for the Wrecker, and I love that decision too. He just knows that if he can get the Fernando out of this fight, and DarkRider seems to have a lot of struggles here, he and his team are going to be happy. Both shields overlaid against one another, not necessarily managing the timing of that to the best of their abilities, and Cacanuck surely managing his ultimate well. Disengage, blast shot, Cacanuck follows it up. That's a kill for the Dragon, 2 in a row. The shield comes up, but is it a bit too late? It just might be. Him and his team trying to keep themselves alive, but it's not working so far.
That's what happens when you get dominated so hard in the first round. Fernando didn't even have Immortal online yet. The Dragon Punch goes completely unpunished. Buck Wild as well was used in that fight to no avail. Tooney in a bit of a rough spot here. We'll have the advance, but will not be able to get back there. DarkRider and Planet gonna help him out. Ancient Rage is available. He's gonna chunk that man down as soon as he comes out of Immortal. Protection is very low. Epps is going to be struggling to survive very long against the Ancient Rage. Shaolin goes down. Overtime has already been popped. Arise falling apart at the seams.
Yes, and they do just have one seam remaining. They've got one plan of action, and that is to defend. Right now, with 2 minutes on the clock, they need to last this entire time. And if they're going to be able to do it, they're going to have to play a lot more specifically than they have. Their target prioritization's been a bit weak, but Tooney's has been on point. He has focused down whoever has been stepping out. Hair's out of line, and now the Buck goes in with the Androxus, hoping to double team this ruckus, but staying so close to the payload, taking advantage of that repulsor field, and Cacanuck just slaying JAKEB, looking like a rag doll in both play and in the results of his death. Shaolin coming up, finally finishing off the Dragon, and northernkyle gives his team a bit of respite here with 1 minute and 30 still to defend.
Nice snap roll, both bowmen trading out right now on the realm. Epps goes down though. Here's the shell shield as well to keep himself safe. Repulsor field, emitter shield, a lot of mitigation to burn through. Not the Wreckers online to do it. 1 minute and 20 remaining. Cacanuck is just so unpressured right now, landing so many huge fire spits. And speaking of huge, that Planet is going to find every shot.
the planet heard around the world potentially there. That was a lot of pressure they had, and now Protection gets a kill on the Cacanuck. The Ruckus is respawning. That was really good. That's bought them probably 20 seconds right there for sure. Are they going to be able to capitalize it, though? This is where Protection loves to be. This is such a good spot for him because his damage is still really decent up top, and he's so safe. And then he can just jump on the target he needs to. DefNotHanzo with a disengage response. Wow, DefNotHanzo still alive. Protection's wanting to figure him out and find where he's gone. This is such a long life. If he dies here, this is going to be a problem, and it is. 32 seconds on the clock. Protection may go down as well, but the respawn distance of where they all want to be, it favors Protection heavily.
Definitely the defenders have that advantage. Heat Haze just now coming online. 20 seconds for Xenosy to find their way back to the payload. They are grouped up for the time being. They're finding the picks they need. JAKEB goes down. northernkyle trying to get in position. The planet is going to be a big cooldown to watch in this fight. We see it come out, not really landing too big. We're here in overtime. Can Xenosy close out the tournament?
Oh, they need to get the Drogos, but they haven't had a chance to do so. Withdraw, getting the Drogos off his scent, and that is important. The Dragon doing so much damage, and he's gonna do it again. Cacanuck takes the kill and takes down northernkyle. Shaolin has nothing left to do. Protection will be back soon, and a cursed art from JAKEB, but Cacanuck is there to save the day. Cacanuck looking like a superhero here and going to finish off Protection. Tooney with the last shot thanks to the high damage per second coming out from Ruckus, and this is all but over. A dome shield will last through the shields and allow the fire spit to not have as much of an impact onto the team that's cowering in fear thanks to the Dragon's pressure. He is the king of the skies, but will it end up lasting? He's got to do everything right now by himself, but he's got a Ying in his back pocket helping him out. JAKEB stays alive, and the defense is successful despite Cacanuck as the hero in that.
We got to pull up the damage charts after that. Oh my goodness. Head and shoulders right now above most others. 6,000 above JAKEB, who is close, trying to get it done for his team. JAKEB has been a big factor in a lot of these games, despite Protection being the center of most of the conversation. Protection, 38,000 damage here, struggling to keep up. Not a lot of great targets for him. A lot of good peel, a lot of good target switching prioritizations, and as these havens start to come online, these kills aren't going to come any easier.
And Cauterize as well, Nick. You see 3 members with Cauterize 3. That Ying is going to be really mitigated, and not only that, it's the Ruckus. He's not going to get that healing, but the damage reduction has been so important to him, and they know that this Drogos, this Cacanuck, has been having one of the games of his life, but because he got killed there, he's given a bit of ultimate charge to the Buck, who had used it previously, and now he's looking to take a little bit more off the Dragon. Cacanuck in the air, finds one rocket, misses off the point. Barrack and Shaolin on the objective now, and it looks like the Fernando getting focused down, but so is the Dragon, who stays careful behind cover and lets JAKEB die to Exalotus. The Turtle getting a double kill in this fight, and Dragon Punch starts the soar.
Goes down, takes down Epps. All of the turrets and the barricades fall as well. Double kill for Cacanuck here. 70% though captured for Arise. Xenosy need to hold strong here. They cannot afford to lose even a semblance of another fight, or Arise will take this back 3-2 with the chance to actually tie it up if they're able to capture here. So not all hope is lost.
They have not had an answer for Cacanuck's Dragon plays, and if they continue to not have an answer, it will be Arise going ahead and losing, but they found it. Protections is going to take him down, and look at this, Shaolin takes down the Makoa. JAKEB with the triple kill, keeping Arise fully in this one, hopping over to zone, and this game, ladies and gentlemen, is just getting started.
3-2 now. Xenosy need to hold this defense, or they will give up the tying play and have a chance to actually be beat in the next round. Not something any of us thought would come out. Protection up on the high ground right now. JAKEB not far behind. Illusory Rip is going to be popped up, but so many Cauterizes, like you mentioned, it's going to be difficult for any of this healing to make its way through the Haven. And the healing is just barely there. The slugfest Protection.
What?
He concedes first. He retreats as all of his team has begun to fall. Buck gonna live for now, but was unable to slay the Dragon.
I'm just surprised he lived, man. Like, that was crazy. I don't even care if he conceded. It's like the fact he got away with his life in that one was so impressive by Protection. He's just a master at this buck. And if you ever come across him in your games, you'll see that. You'll be happy the buck carry is there to help you get some easy free low, as we like to call it. You see Drogo's grouped up, and Androxus, JAKEB, he's got his sights set onto the dragon and says, I'm the real king of the skies here, buddy. As Rise finally finds a bit of rhythm. The ruckus going down. No healing for you, Makoa. Nice hook, buddy, but I got something a little better for you. And all of a sudden, Rise have breathed new life into this game.
That's right, barely off the mark. There was Protection missing that heroic leap onto the high ground. A minute remaining on the push. Taking a look at some of these ultimates here. Everything is available except Illusory Rift. Dragon Punch coming through, though. Right as I say that, the Immortal is not there to save northernkyle's life. He will fall, but Rise have the time to recuperate this loss.
And Epps does not see the dragon yet. The shield will block one. And is it going to block enough? Epps needs to get away, but no, Tooney will follow up with him as well. There it is, the damage from the Fire Spit's going to do a lot of AoE protection. Has his sights on the Drogos, but he knows he's in the air, and that's just a bit too high right now for him to manage. But easy cleanup on Isle Buck is going to go down, and there it is, DefNotHanzo with the actual kill and trying to rocket jump himself up into the air, taking a bit of damage, but he knows that'll be easily back into his health pool by the time he starts to fight again. But Tooney, he's already on the advance here, no pun intended, looking to make sure that no one gets in without taking a few bullets to the head.
JAKEB in protection, Splank is spotted out and shut down by Cacanuck. First kill of the fight goes to him. tinyFetus answers on to Epps, finding a lot of headshot damage into the Fernando right now. Hexafire is still online, won't even need it, it looks like. Protection finding himself very low, a little bit off the mark with that advance. But all the time has already been bought. 3-2 lead Xenosy.
Now, one thing before we kind of break this down is that they had to use the Drogo's Dragon Punch in that, and they will not have that for the beginning of this point fight.
That's right, 52%, no morale boost. Cacanuck electing to go for Nimble this time. Master Riding 2 on both Tooney and tinyFetus. They are looking to be the first ones on the point for morale boosts for the boys of Rise. Everyone except Protection, who has elected to go for that Chronos, wants that recovery up as much as possible, wants that heroic leap, that net shot, all very vital to what Buck is looking to do.
And he's got assist to heal or kill to heal, however you like to call it. Basically, any elimination is going to give him 600 health back, and that could be everything if he could spray and pray a couple of these targets on the point. He goes the lower route now, and they weren't expecting that. Him and Barrett get a few points onto the objective now, but he got to go on to the Dragon, who doesn't see him coming. This time, Cacanuck is the one being surprised. A Cursed Arm gets nobody. JAKEB cannot find a target, but Cacanuck goes down, even in the skies, thanks to Protection, and now Tooney is just a sitting duck, as well as DefNotHanzo. Getting the Cassie out of this fight has meant everything, and the stun impale comes through. Shaolin is going to be saved here because of his buddies, and although Drogos is alive, he's not alive and fighting. He's just waiting for his whole team to regroup after being wiped by Rise.
A lot of ultimates used from Xenosy as well. Hexafire and Ancient Rage off the table. We still have Buck Wild and Heat Haze available for Rise. Xenosy gonna try and get in here. Dragon Punch is almost available. Immortal is nowhere near ready to counter that one. They're hopping on here. Illusory Rift is pop as well, but so many cauterizes from Rise is gonna make that all but worthless.
Oh, he goes down. Cacanuck takes DarkRider, but northernkyle gets both tanks as Shaolin, and that is why he's in this game. He's the tank killer, and it seems like they don't have an eye on DefNotHanzo. She slays Epps as the Cassie, and that is extremely important, but she cannot contest this fight. Ruckus is back, and so is Makoa. This is going to be huge. This 1v1 could mean a lot. DefNotHanzo stays alive, but so is the Shaolin, and he's going to look to melt those tanks again. Protections takes down Tooney. Makoa is going down fast. He cannot hook the Shaolin, and that could spell his ultimate demise. The shield will come through, but is it just a consolation prize? Dragon Punch is now ready. It's gonna slay Protections, and Epps is alive, but Shaolin, northernkyle on a 9 streak, has been the answer thus far, but all of that results in nothing for Rise. 99%. And maybe losing.
That was the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny, and it's not over yet. Protection looking to get in here and throw this into overtime at least. But DefNotHanzo is out, ready to zone. Overtime ticking so quickly now. Both teams have been in it for so long. Whoever gets the first frontliner off of the point one, here's the Hex of Fire to lay down the pain. And Tooney closes out the game with a blast.
Wow, what a game. And you can't say that Arise didn't fight for their life there. But
Wow.
they will take second place this week. Xenosy will take first place, and that will leave Arise with 60 points. And so we'll have to take a look at the standings to see exactly where they end up in the future. But taking a look at these in-game stats, Nick, I mean, what a performance overall by Xenosy.
So much damage all across the board. 96K for Cacanuck, DefNotHanzo 95K, 81K for Tooney. Just so much pain being brought in that last fight, especially. That was one of the most extended fights I think I've ever seen in competitive Paladins.
It was one for the ages, and the Ruckus Hexifier just put the icing, or the rockets, on the top of the cake. Let's take a look at the standings and see exactly who will be heading into next weekend, the final weekend, and it will be Arise. They have found themselves into next week's finals, and this is incredible for them. The top four being Astral Authority with 210, Xenosy with 170, Vertu with 140, and Arise, after an incredible week here, taking second, giving themselves the edge over Low Res Studios.
Coming out of nowhere, really making exactly enough points for them to get there anymore, and I don't know, they would have found themselves in the finals. Arise making a lot of good changes here, playing to their strengths up until the finals, where they were swept 3-0 by Xenosy. Lost a game only to the reigning champions, Astral Authority. In fact, the only series of the day that was not a sweep.
And it's been a fantastic day, and we can't leave without saying congratulations to Xenosy. They did a fantastic job, and I want to wish all of them the best next week, as well as all of the 4 teams that will be facing off against the opponents from the champion circuit earlier on this year that have been waiting, lying in wait, patiently looking for their opportunity to face these newcomers who may be a bit of a challenge to them if all goes well and according to their plans. That's going to be it for us today, Nick. Pretty fantastic weekend we've had.
Absolutely.
But, of course, there's a couple other things that if you're watching in chat, you could be a part of before we head out.
Yeah, we have a giveaway going in both Twitch and YouTube. Exclamation point giveaway in Twitch. Grab that link out of the description in YouTube. Follow the instructions after you paste that into your browser. But that's not all the free stuff we have here today.
We've got the coolest Ying Twitch weapon skin possible. And the only thing you got to do to get it, give us some gems, give us some money? No. Link your Twitch account and your Hi-Rez account. It's just a couple of internet steps. That should be easy for all of you watching on all of these great platforms that are supporting this game. We appreciate it. My name is Rainday. This is Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. And as always, we'll see you guys in the realm.